when it comes to Hasbro and a figure from the Acolyte here, you know, I don't know if it's obvious, but you would probably come to the conclusion, well, Hasbro is connected and locked into a contract with Disney, so they kind of have to make the Acolyte and then hope the show does well, which would lead to the figures doing well. Well, the show didn't do well. In fact, it was canceled. So you have a pretty decent action figure for an awful television show. Truth be told, I didn't hate the show. I don't think it was good. I just wish it wasn't connected to like the beginnings of the Star. You know, if it was its own thing, sure, that'd be fine. That's a discussion for another day. Today, we are going to talk about bad toys. No, wait. Good toys for bad movies. Let's get it going today on Toy Games.
Toy Games! That's you and me, baby! Toy Games! I can't take it anymore! It's Toy Games!
I've talked about this figure before on the channel. This is Secret Headquarters by NECA. Wow. With Owen Wilson. So, in this figure in particular, I had the pleasure of meeting Randy Falk a bunch of times, and every time I see him, I have a question prepared to ask him, whether it's about, well, listen, years ago at Comic-Con, here's a picture here, years ago, I was like, Randy, please, I don't, he must have been in a good mood or something, because he told me about the NECA TMNT line coming out. At the time, I didn't have a channel or anything like that. I was just there shopping, and that was very cool of him. So, sometimes they make figures. This movie was by Paramount. Now, sometimes they will do it as a favor. So if you make a figure, this is from Randy. This isn't something I'm whipping out of my ass. They will ask you, hey, if you make this figure for X, we will allow you to make a figure for Y. Does that make sense? So you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. And NECA knocked this one out of the park. Let's get to the next crop of NECA figures and we will continue this discussion. Wow. Randy loves White Zombie and Rob Zombie. I'm certain this was a favor for Rob because they've done like Halloween, the remake, and they've done Captain Spaulding and Devil's Rejects. So it's no coincidence that after these dropped, a year later, less than a year later, they re-released Captain Spaulding. This is new. I didn't get him the first time. I was actually him for Halloween. Here's a picture there. Love this character. He's one of the funniest characters ever to be put in a horror film. Rest in peace, Sid. So it's kind of a situation where you make this and I'll give you that. Paramount, who has the rights to Secret Headquarters, also has the rights to Star Trek. So I was pretty shocked that we didn't see Star Trek figures soon after that. Got to give credit where credit is due. These are beautiful. For a film that everyone hates, and I mean hate. And for full disclosure, I don't hate this film. I understand it looks like a fucking porno without the sex. It's odd, but there's some charm there. And I will say this about Rob Zombie films. They're not always good. He always puts his damn wife as a lead. But they're his films. You know, there's no influence by other entities or by the company telling him what to do. You know you're seeing a Rob Zombie film. And these are beautiful. And let me pick one. Let me pick... well, you know, this is kind of shit. She has no legs. She's like a glorified, you know, arms move. Head sculpt, they were pretty forgiving to Sherry Moon. Kind of looks a little off. Let's stick to Grandpa because he fits in frame. NECA's weird. NECA is something that, you know, they're not meant for toy photography and putting them in zany poses. And some people don't get that, because I've heard some people say, well, it's a toy. A toy should be able to move. These are true adult collectibles where you're going to get them in a good enough pose. It's really about having that property you love. You know, Child's Play, Predator, and having a near perfect rendition of that property shrunken down into collectible form. Beautiful piece, beautiful figures. Sometimes good figures come from shit movies. Say what you want about the film, you can't knock how good these look. If you want to talk more horror, join us tonight on the Mega Powers podcast. We are going to all reveal our top 10 favorite horror films. Should be really fun. You know, it's October time, spooky time. As always, thank you for watching. Take care. Have fun.
Woo! Like, comment, subscribe. Yeah!